Let's give it up for D!
The fact that we are having in 2019 this discussion, actually this fight, as it relates to decriminalization is a sad testament that society in all its advancements still frowns on the most common practice of all, commercial sex work. Sadder yet, the persons doing the frowning are individuals steadfastly standing for economic suppression of people of color. The persons frowning the most are persons blocking any real legislation supporting sincere skills building and job training for vulnerable populations everywhere. And the persons frowning the most on this and the support of decriminalization, whether they answer by the name of Mr. or Miss, are the ones that are keeping us from advancing the causes of all of our most vulnerable. It saddens me that many of those frowning on us in the promotion of decriminalization of sex work are those who have side chicks on the side and boy toys on the down low. And the persons would have you believe that we are asking for the legalization of prostitution. We are not. What we are simply requesting that there is a removal of the target of the box of many of our youth who have had limited choices in their advancement to live a productive life. Commercial sex work is not the ideal for us, it's the alternative for us. Decriminalization and change, we need to change that narrative. Decriminalization and end the hypocrisy that people believe that left to our own devices that we are erasable. We're not. We need to understand that the choices that we have in this world as individuals should not be decided by a few people who are misguided in who we are. We need to say to people, we're human and children of the God of your understanding. And because of that, we need the playing field to adapt to the ways that we live, not us adapting to the way you live. We need to understand that to empower communities, you have to give them more choices and more options. To empower communities, we have to understand that because I'm a commercial sex worker, does not mean that I'm the target for your abuse, your assaults, and death. We need to understand that the seat of government is not just a seat of government for some, it's a seat of government for all. City council must understand when you say that you want equal rights for the populace of LGBTQ, it also means transgender men, women of color. As a 64-year-old transgender woman who had limited choices when I was young, and they evolved where I got better, we need to give the same thing to the youth that come out today. We need to understand, just by discriminating and say that we don't want them in our community, we don't want them on our jobs, is not what America stands for. We need to understand that until every one of us feel comfortable enough to live in our own truth, none of us can. We need to understand that being trans is not an issue, but suppressing our rights to live is an issue. I'm upset today that so many of us who are young, who only crime is loving themselves and loving their partner and being targeted because you can't find it comfortable enough to live your own truth. Living your own truth frees you, and we want that freedom for all of us. So I say to this city, and I say to this mayor, and I say to this city council, enough with the excuses. If you're not going to promote decriminalization of commercial sex work, then give us a damn job. Thank you.
I do have to say, like last week, I was attacked. I was followed home. And like something that really stood out to me was when when they followed me home and they started attacking our house. A lot of the NJMP members that live with us were really scared for their lives, and it was terrifying. Someone called the police, and I just remember the police coming like 45 minutes later, 2 officers, and just kind of like really bad attitudes. It happened to be the same 2 officers who had me in cuffs 5 days earlier when they brought me to the hospital because we called the ambulance for a medical situation, and they ended up coming to our street with an armed occupation. It's like a lot of folks get stuck like thinking that like we can trust the police, or thinking that like the police will respect us, thinking that the police won't have biases, but like we're here to say like no, they be out there every single night in K Street in plain clothes trying to get sex from sex workers, trying to lock them up. Tierra Moten!
Tierra Moten! Text your girlfriends, I am your girlfriends, and let them know that we are live, back on the air, for another installment of the show. Always full of motherfucking shit out of this.
All the advice that you need in the world, all that you need nothing down to the door, all the mentions into the floor. Give me more, give me more. So now that you wanna know, really break it for the motherfucking show. All these elements, why should I waste them? All of your bitches can't imitate. All this fun now, who should I give it to? Which one of them should I pick for eyes? Now step in the shoes of an oversized kind. Now giving you all of this that you really want. Cooking, cleaning, all of the pleasing, body cooling. Nigga, I'm feeling bad, but I'm hearing, ready for the show. Pass me the beat so I can go.
Girlfriends, and let them know that we are live, back on the air, for another installment of the show. Always
Now stop, we could be into it. No play in my face, get into it. We here, we stepping on the floor to it. Get down, into it. Now I'm ready to hit a little lane, beat you in. This is what I'm gonna see on a merry-go-round. Got a word in my ear, fly to the element. All this pussy, never solve it.
but I know we'll get your big ass tonight. But we are live, and we are full of motherfucking shit. You know, the show must go on.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do? Show up, fight back. What do we do? Show up, fight back. When trans lives are under attack, what do we do? Show up, fight back. What do we do? Show up, fight back.
Once again, my name is Princess Tracy, not literally Princess Tracy, but Princess or Tracy. I'm a young black 21 trans woman living in the state of DC. I'm with the No Justice, No Pride, No Justice, No Pride, and the No Justice, No Pride Collective. My message to the people with me doing that would be, don't be afraid to stand up for who you are. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Because you're only setting yourself back, and you will feel like you're going nowhere. And I'm here to tell you, you're going somewhere, you're going to be something, you are something. And, you know, live your life to the fullest. You know, we are human, we are loved, and